What's good? It's Ozman the Wizard.
And Naiba.
This is not
Not
another damn podcast
another damn podcast.
presented by our
Our damn selves.
354.
354, yes.
Yeah. And so well, I don't know if they actually celebrate this over in Dublin, but yeah, it's St. Patrick's Day as we record this, and we do have somebody that listens to this podcast every week in Dublin, Ireland. So yeah.
Yes. We salute you.
So, but is St. Patrick's Day an Irish thing, or is that an American Irish thing? Like, I don't know. It's like I don't know the order of
Yeah.
St. Patrick's Day. Like, do they actually celebrate that in Ireland or not?
That's a good question. That's something now I want to delve into that. I want to learn now because a lot of stuff is American traditions of stuff. A
Like
lot of stuff
Kwanzaa,
is.
yeah, like in Africa, they don't know what the fuck that is. It's like, but they're like, what's that? It's like, yeah. But
It's
like,
an African American
yeah.
tradition.
It's like that's why he's had a bunch. Whoever invented it just picked a bunch of Swahili words to name it, but it has no ties to Africa whatsoever. It's like it's the American thing strictly. That for American blacks like strictly. It's like, so I wonder if
Because
St. Patrick's Day is the same way. Yeah, is it?
It's especially and then especially depending on what city you're in, because in Chicago, it's a pretty damn big thing in Chicago because it's a big
Chicago
Irish
is a very
population.
very diverse city. Like yeah, very we have a very ethnic heavy. Yeah. All right,
Hmm.
it's
Like
very
depending on what side of town that you drive on, like you're going to drive through different neighborhoods, and then you just see all the shamrocks. Like, okay, I'm in an Irish neighborhood. You have like Chinatown. You have
Little Italy. You
Italy.
got yeah the Mexican neighborhoods where you see everything is in Spanish. It's like
Mhm.
yeah,
Like I know when I'm driving, I start seeing lavanderia, and I'm like, okay, supermercado. I know, like, okay, in the Spanish speaking neighborhoods. But I mean, it's just all different type of little
got Greek town. Yeah, over like
picherías.
yeah. So yeah, but that's Chicago. Yeah. Yeah, of course you got the south side and the west side. So that's one.
That's a whole nother, a whole nother ethnicity. We're our own
And
group,
that's two
South Side.
different ethnicities there, south side and west
South
side,
Side.
by the way. It's like it's
I know one.
two different
I know one of
ethnic.
my friends who's from out west, she said that her daughter is mixed with South Side and West Side because her husband is from the South Side. She was like, yeah, she's mixed with South Side and West Side. That cracked me up when she said that. Because it is a different, it is,
West side, but
but
west side. Yeah.
and South Side's we South Side. So I mean it
I got peeps from the west side. Yeah. So
is.
yeah.
But in Chicago, like it is like they had the big parade on Saturday that
Okay.
was like downtown. And of course, like they dyed the river green. They do that every year. The river always gets dyed green in Chicago.
Yeah, they turned it green.
Mhm. And then the day of St. Patrick's Day, like I know over Southwest, like in the Mount Greenwood neighborhood, they do the South Side Irish Day parade. So they have like their big parade that goes down Western. So the people, like if you are from Chicago, you already know, like don't try to drive to Western on that day because you're going to be messed up.
Just
You have to
like
take a detour.
it's like trying to go past King Drive second Saturday in August is
In
like
August, yeah,
Billiken, which is
not gonna happen.
our thing.
Not gonna happen.
That's a South Side thing there, but
South Side thing.
go.
Bronzeville, it's right there, smack dead in Bronzeville. So, you know, but it is cool looking at like the different traditions and looking at the
I'm into
difference
it.
in
It's
our
like,
day.
yeah, I know like Negroes that are mad about Negroes. That, yeah, but like here's one thing about our people is like any reason to like get lit is like we don't give a shit. It's like so I don't care if you black you want to celebrate St. Patrick's, do you? I don't give a shit. It's like,
Mhm.
if that's what you want to do. But I see people actually know some people are just busybodies and just like and like to be mad at everything. People just want
And then Chicago, we're foodies. We like to eat. Like, I mean, I don't eat this, but I mean,
corned beef and
like,
cabbage.
get your corned beef and cabbage and your red potatoes and your Irish soda bread.
Yeah.
Your Kerrygold cheese. Get that popping.
Yeah. I don't eat any of that, but if that's your thing, knock you do you.
And then the other thing is like people getting mad about Cinco de Mayo. I love some tacos. Like I do. I'm a taco girl. Like I'll eat some tacos up. I love tacos.
Tacos and tequila. What's happening that day?
Like, especially that year, well, it kind of, it's a perfect segue. It kind of messed it up because the year was going to be Taco Tuesday and Cinco de
That was
Mayo.
2020, so like
It was going to be COVID.
got
It
messed
was the
up.
year
Yeah,
of COVID.
I think it was 2020. Yeah,
It was because people was like, yes, we have Taco Tuesday and Cinco de Mayo all at the same time. Yes.
yeah, which
And
only
then that
happens
was
every like
2020.
only happens every like 6 years or something. Is like so
And it
yeah.
happened to be 2020. So it's like, so all the proper planning that you may have had a whole fiesta and the whole thing planned out because that was perfect.
What if you rented a place out that day? Yeah, and then
So there's the perfect segue for that. So now we are literally like 4 years from
the
when
exact
our world changed, like exactly 4 years ago.
so if they NBA shut down March 11th. By the 13th, like shit was like really getting real and shit. Yeah, that Friday the 13th, which I have my meme that I posted like said Friday. It's Friday the 13th and Jason ain't got shit on coronavirus. So that's like,
Yeah.
and yeah, that's like, and that comes up every year in my memories. I'm a kid pause. I remember the early scary days of COVID. Like, it's like
I remember
March
that was the last day because like
20,
you picked up Ariana from school that day for me. You picked her up because I
Friday the
was busy
13th.
with
Yeah,
work.
Friday the
I
13th.
think I was still in the office that day. And then, because like we were kind of like, what's going on? Because I was in the office and you picked up Ariana for me. And I remember they told us that Monday said, okay, we're going to close the school for 2 weeks. Ariana never went back to that school because she ended up transferred to a different school, but she never went back to the school that she was at.
Never set foot in that
She
school.
never set foot in that school ever again.
Probably doesn't even remember going there because it was like she was little. She's like,
She
I
does.
went here. It's like she probably
Because her teachers, like, I mean, I loved her teacher and the teacher assistant. Like, she had a really good teacher and teacher assistant. So I love
that was
like
half
that.
her life. Think about it. Yeah, if she's eight
Mhm.
now, she was four. That's like so she might not even remember going to that school. It's like, that that was a lifetime ago, literally for her.
It's just like, wow, because when it just shut down, then we went at that point, when we came back, we went on the computer. So then Ariana had to finish her pre-K year on the computer. She had to do her whole kindergarten year on the computer. And then
Yeah,
she went back to school in person in first grade, was when she went back to school.
yeah.
So a lot was very, like you said, it was very scary. It was a lot of unknown. It was a lot of
I blame the fucking media on a lot of that shit. It's like,
toilet paper hysteria.
yeah, the toilet
You
paper
won't be able to wipe
apocalypse.
your ass. What?
And I don't know why it was just toilet paper. It's like out of all the things you can run out of, is like why was that pushed to the top
People
of
were
the
hoarding soap and hand sanitizer.
Lysol, cans of Lysol?
Lysol was being hoarded.
Yeah,
At the time, like I said, we were still in our condo, but it's like we have a Sam's Club membership, so it's like we had just bought like our big haul of stuff right before Corona had started because we were just doing our normal monthly shopping trip, and then it happened to work out when we saw that nobody was able to buy toilet paper. We had just literally bought a 30 pack at Sam's Club like a couple weeks before. We were like, oh, we lucked out. We had just
yeah. I
bought
was like
30.
a day ahead of everything on that for some. I don't know. I was able to. I had that third eye. Like I was like a day or two ahead of when everything hit. Like the toilet paper apocalypse, I was like maybe 2 days ahead of like the public on that. So then I bought one the first day, 2 days before, and then like
Mhm,
bought me a 12 like I bought two 12 packs. That's what I did. Yeah, so that's
mhm.
24 rolls. Then the next day I was still feeling a little shaky, so I got two more 12 packs. It's like, yeah. So I
Yeah, he
had
was
me
good.
48 rolls and said, then like by
Mhm.
that third day, it was no toilet paper. It could have been because of people like me buying four 12 packs. It's like maybe I
A
contributed
single person
to
buying four toilet.
maybe I it's like having 48 rolls and I lived alone. It's like that. It's like,
When they were talking about sheltering in place, you were like, "Well, I live alone, so."
yeah,
And
that
then
was
pretty much it's like, well, it's just going to be us four and the cat. That's what it's going to be with us. It's going to be us four and our cat. That's all it's going to be.
weird shit. It's like, yeah. Then then the canned food thing was next and shit.
Yeah, that
I went
was
and got me a whole like I went to Aldi, I was at the stock up store, yeah, and I got like a whole like the half pallet of tuna, canned tuna,
down.
and canned corn. It's like yeah, so I was like,
What?
I went and did that shit. It's like
You still have some of that stuff still.
I've just finished up like probably I and again I like I moved like about a year and some change. So like it was around that time when I started getting rid of some of that stuff. So it
You did
lasted all
donate,
the way up
okay.
until almost to like damn near 2023. It's like like stuff I bought in 2020, it was still like lurking around. It's like so I ended up getting rid of it. I gave some of it away, yeah, because
Yeah, so that's good. Mhm.
like pantries, like food pantries always looking for
Oh
canned.
yeah, food pantries always
I was
here.
like, I don't need this shit anymore. Yeah. So like,
And then they have, and then different schools have like the drives, like the Thanksgiving drives and things like that. You can always donate to
I dropped
schools,
some of that stuff
daycares,
off
things
at a
like that.
pantry.
Yeah.
Stuff I didn't eat, I dropped it off at a pantry. That's what,
Hmm.
well, yeah,
Because it was crazy. And then like because we were like Ariana and Khalil were very young. So they were one, Khalil was one turning two, Ariana was four turning five when the pandemic started. So they were very young. And I have asthma. So Marcus delegated himself that he ran all the stuff. So like it was for a long time away. I wasn't even leaving the house at all. Like, because Marcus was like, okay, like I'll just leave the house and I'll do the like, he was the one going to the grocery store masked up, suited up and everything. Like he was
remember
like,
they
because
had it wasn't what I wouldn't call it curfews. They did have like limited traffic out during that time.
they
Is
did.
yeah, it might have been a curfew. I don't remember. All I know is as a member of the media working in radio, I had like as Mr. Chuck D said, if I had a letter from the government, literally that on me. So and they sold us at the state. It's like if you get pulled over, just show this to
Show
the
this
cop.
letter basically shows I'm
Like as a
authorized to be
member of the
outside.
media, like yeah, like so yeah, I still have that letter too. I must that's gonna be like part of like history when I like I could leave the house without this shit basically in 2020. It's like, so I had a
Because I just
literal
stayed in
letter from the
and
government that says yes, I'm out because I'm out as a member of the media is why I'm out here. So yeah,
yeah, I just stayed in and we did a lot of puzzles because we had like the big floor puzzles. So we put together puzzles as a family.
yeah.
We watched a lot of Disney Plus. We watched a lot of
Yeah, because Disney
Netflix.
Plus, I think, had just launched at 19. I want to say, so it's still
18 or 19 years. So it was like still,
pretty. Yeah, it had just launched like around that time.
So
Yeah,
we did like the Disney Plus, we did Netflix, we did Amazon Prime. Like we was just doing a lot of that type of stuff. Because
I
it was just us and we were trying to entertain two small children. Like I have to look at my memory because I still have my memory where they each had their little toy cars, the kids. So I set up their cars like a drive-in movie.
movie. I remember. Yeah.
And then I think we watched Endgame or something. We watched one of the Marvel movies. It was one of
Okay.
those Marvel.
I was gonna say trolls, but like whatever. It's like it was end game. So
Well, because like we put out a Marvel movie. We was like, yeah, and then we put up their little so we had their little snacks and they were seeing their little cars like they were in the drive-in movie. So I still have a picture of that, of them doing their drive-in
five and
movie.
looked like Pee Wee and Dottie.
And we were trying to figure out creative ways because it's like then literally the kids have birthdays right at
Right
the very
around that,
beginning
because
of
you
the
had a
year.
party planned that had to be canceled because of that. Yeah.
I did because usually I'm like early when planning stuff for the kids. So for whatever reason that year in 2020, I was a little bit behind on everything. So like I'm like, oh shoot, I gotta book the place. Oh shoot, I gotta go get the candies for the candy bags. Like, I was like a little bit behind, but it worked out because I would have wasted a lot of money
Yeah.
because I would have bought the stuff and not been able to use it. So then when I paid for the deposit for their place, and we still haven't gone to that place yet. I always want to check it out. We still haven't been yet. But I paid my deposit and then literally like about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks later, they're like, yeah, everything is closed. And I'm like,
Yeah.
and then they presented, they said, well, we're gonna reopen at some point. They said, so you can schedule your party like when we reopen. So it may be like August, September. No, run me my money back. Like, I'm not gonna schedule a party that's supposed to be done in March and August or September. I'm not doing that.
It's the moment is
Who
gone by
who
then.
does that? Like, that's like 6 months later. Who does
Moment's
that?
gone by then. It's like yeah.
Like I'm not like, no, I'm not doing that. I just want my deposit back. So then eventually I did get my deposit back. And then I just had to get creative with like celebrating their birthday at home because we couldn't have a party. No one could come over. Like not even you guys. Like y'all couldn't even come over. Like nobody could come over. So it was like, trying to tell a 2 and a 5 year old, like, hey, like, why can't we go outside? Like, we can't do nothing. We can't go nowhere. We can't do it. It was like, we can't do nothing. They look at me like,
And then
and
I
I'm looking at them like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what to say.
and then at the media school, I remember I thought they were gonna get reported or something like, or somebody would snitch, wink, wink to them. So yeah, some was going because like I said, the 13th is when shit got real. Is like when they pretty
Mm-hmm.
much shut everything down. But that following week, like the school was still open. I was like,
Damn.
you're not supposed to have groups of more than what 4 or 5 people, whatever, like the limit they had put on the shit. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's like why are we still having class and shit? But it's a for-profit school, so they were just trying to squeeze them down. I guess
Trying
they
to
didn't
take them
have it
out.
set up like remotely, like whereas like they were still figuring that part out and shit.
They were still figuring it out.
So I was like, for two reasons, I was like, I don't want to get sick, and this place is probably gonna get shut down. It might get raided by the feds when they find out we still having classes. Like, yeah. So then, after that following week, then the week after that, like they still had us coming in, but no students. Like, so
They were
they had
students
figured
there.
out how the students were remote and shit. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the same. Then by the third week, we all were home. They said that we were like doing class and students off.
And with my job, what they do in my job, they was like, okay, they have shifts, so it's like only like so many people could be at the office. So it's like, okay, you're gonna come in the then you just basically came in for like an hour, hour and a half, grabbed all your paperwork that you needed, and just took it home. Like you were not allowed to stay in more than like an hour and a half, something like that. So just get all your papers, everything you need to do your work, take it on home. Like, do not stay in this office. Do not hang out in this office. Like, it cannot be more than two people from each team at a time. It was like they had it really staggered, and we were just home for like 3 months. Like, we were
Yeah,
just
like the
doing paperwork
we
for like
taught
three
class
months.
the media school. We taught class from I think up until July is when they brought us back on campus.
And
So
then our director said that we could go out in July and start doing visits again. So then, like I said, we were just basically sitting in the house processing paperwork because it is always paperwork in my
I
job.
do
So we would just
remember,
grab.
like you'll remember. I think your birthday is when they downgraded it from like what like the red alert to like let's say yellow alert or something, whatever it
Yeah,
was.
they down. Yeah, on my birthday. I remember they
The
brought it
exact
down.
terminology, but it did like so it made sense to open stuff to start opening up in July because like I remember
Mm-hmm.
on the 26th is of June is when shit like
Mm-hmm.
got downgraded a level. It's like okay, yeah, so we can
Mm-hmm.
move a little bit now. I remember that, yeah, that's around that time. Yeah.
Because what we were trying to think about, because like realistically, it's like try and keep a 2 and 5 year old in the house. Like, it's different. Like, you can stay at home at 40. When you're 40, you can stay at home. But a 2 and 5 year olds, like,
Back, yeah.
so a way that we got creative with them because we're like, these kids was getting cabin fever. Like it was fine like the first one. It's fine at first, but then the
In
kids
the
started getting
beginning,
cabin
everybody was
fever.
excited, but then like after a while, it's like, okay, I'm over this shit. It's like, yeah,
The kids literally, this is what the kids did with me. So we just said, okay, what can we do to get these kids out the house? Hmm. We said, let's go for a drive. Lakeshore Drive, you just hop on Lakeshore Drive and just drive down Lakeshore Drive.
from 67 down to Hollywood, the whole
We
and
just
back.
we
Yeah,
drove and then we drove around like Wrigleyville because Marcus showed the kids where the Cubs play, and we just drove around the city just driving, doing different, and then during that time gas was like really cheap during that time. So that was the
under
advantage.
$2 during that.
Gas got to under $2 at that point. So we did a lot of driving. So we got in the car. We would say, well, because of what's something we can do that's social distancing, that's getting outside, but not really outside. Let's go for drives. So that's what we did. We put the kids in the car. We went for long drives. We just drove around. We drove around different parts of the city and just showed them like Chicago's a big, beautiful city. Like, hey, this is so and so. This is so and so. This is so, we showed them different parts of the city that they normally would not have been able to see.
Yeah,
And that's what we did. And then the first time we actually went outside, was like maybe in July-ish. Like I said, after they lifted
Well,
the making it be
they loosen
so
the
like it was
restriction.
like not red.
They loosen the
When
restrictions.
they lifted the restriction, we went to the zoo. We went to Lincoln Park Zoo.
Okay.
But this is the craziest thing during that time. The zoo, you had to actually put your name on the list thing,
Reservation. You had to
basically.
make reservations to go to
You
the
had to
zoo.
make reservation because it's Lincoln Park is like for people who don't know, Lincoln Park is a public zoo. It's free. It's the only
It's
free
a,
zoo
yeah,
in Chicago.
free zoo. Yeah. Mhm. That's
And
the
it is called
it's the zoo where Pooter got the shit thrown on him in Cooley High. Yeah, like all my Cooley High fans. That's Lincoln Park Zoo. Yeah, with
that's Lincoln Park Zoo. There you go. When
the
Pooter got
homie.
hit with the
That's
shit.
the zoo they went. Yeah, the gorilla hits Pooter with the shit. It's like that's Lincoln Park Zoo that they're at.
That's a good comparison. That's a good way to make people visualize it. So it's up north, and we had to, and I'm glad that we looked and like we did our research before we went up there because they say you have to put in and you had to be in there and during so like maybe like your block may have been from like 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock or 2:30 or whatever. Like they had like where you could only be in during certain blocks, and then if you were more than 10 minutes late or something, then you would miss your block. You would have to reschedule it because people were just showing up to the zoo and they were trying to get in. They wasn't letting people in. They like, do you have your reservation? They were like, no. And they're like, you can't. You still had to wear your mask even though you were outside. We still had to wear masks.
Yeah, like I said, it
But
was
like we took the kids to the zoo.
yeah.
We took because we were like, we need to take them somewhere. So let's just go to Lincoln Park. So then I looked online, I did our reservation. We parked, we went in there, and Khalil was 2, so he didn't want to wear a mask.
Yeah.
No, I'm not doing. He was taking
The
his mask
other
off
kids
and
like didn't get it. They don't.
he
Yeah,
didn't get it.
was like when you a little older, like sure none of us wanted to wear that shit, but we knew that we have to wear this now. It's like as a lot of places was mandated mask mandates.
So
It's like we
Khalil
have
was like, no.
yeah.
I put it on him. He
Yeah,
said,
I
no,
was
I
like,
don't,
oh,
I
man,
don't
I
want
said,
masks.
mask
No.
mandate or not, I'm not wearing this shit. It's like, yeah,
He said no, he didn't want to do it. But then what made him eventually start wanting to wear a mask was when he saw Ariana put on hers, and Ariana said, "I'm a superhero." Like she made it be like a superhero mask. And then they had the little different cloth masks where you could get like the different designs for
like
kids.
Black Panther.
They had like I had like a panda one for her. I had a like a cheetah or like a
Yeah,
koala. Where it was like different like little cloth like animal ones that you could have. So.
Batman, baby.
Oh, Khalil would have loved that if it was Batman or Spider-Man. Batman or
Oh,
Spider-Man, he would have loved.
Oz would have wore Batman. Damn it.
Khalil likes Batman and Spider-Man, so he would have done that.
Oz would have wore the Batman. But yeah, and then going back to the radio station, yeah, we had restrictions as well too. Like a lot of like most of the staff wasn't even at the building at all. It's like yeah, but they kept the studios open for like the jocks. So like, but it was down to like one person per studio. Like you had your
Mhm.
own studio. So like if you had a team, it's like y'all were in different rooms. It's like your partner might be across the hall. Or like it'd be like or like said like during morning shows they typically have teams. They have like somebody doing news, traffic. They got like a producer. Like so all
Mhm.
of y'all are in different rooms basically. So they had like everybody get their own room like during that time. Yeah, which I work alone anyway during overnight, so that it didn't affect me. But like if you had like a studio assistant or like somebody that did like an entertainment report or traffic, yeah, they had to like do that from a whole nother
Dang.
studio. So like no, was one person per studio. They had
And then it just made just feel like, it's a lot of people. It either brought you closer together or pulled you further apart. That's what's the reality with a lot of families and a lot of things.
yeah,
Like you
yeah.
really got to learn your quirks about people and everything. But 4 years later, we
We made it
survived.
out of that bullshit. Yeah, it's like
Cause,
what a time to be alive. 2020.
cause no lie, didn't from March to May feel like about 4 years in itself? I mean, no,
That whole
it
year
felt
felt like, yeah, that whole fucking year was weird, man. It's
because
like
like I'm looking like
it's get like summertime. I'm like, we still in 2020. It's like it seems like this year been going on for like 5 years.
because like Memorial Day is usually a kickoff for summer, and like with Memorial Day, I'm like, it's just May. Like it felt like 2 years had like literally passed by. It felt like
Memorial Day that year kicked off the George Floyd riots, but what a year to be alive! Like I said, that's what kicked off Memorial Day in 2020, the rioting and shit and the looting.
then that was like a whole nother thing because like once you started feeling like okay we can conquer this coronavirus, we can conquer, okay, we know what it is, we know how to we know how to go about it, how to treat, like we kind of know how to treat it, so we were like trying to approach it like okay we're knowing more and more about it, and then that happened the weekend, so it's like that was like that set us back more, so it's like oh gosh, like we never gonna get to go outside again. It was just kind of felt like
Worst
that.
of all, just like now, it was like it was an election year too. It's like, and that's what made everything even more silly because now it's politicized. It's like all of this shit is like they politicized it too. Yeah, because it was an election year, 2020, when that was going
And
on.
let's call it what it was. An asshole abused his power. That's what it was. An asshole cop. Not all cops are bad, but that cop was, and he
And
abused his
like the
power. He
whole
definitely
situation,
100%
like the
abused
more I
his
know
power.
about it now is yeah, it's it got out of hand. It was like yeah, and
But he abused his power. 100. He abused his
oh yeah,
power.
the shit it was like a simple situation that just got completely out of hand.
That got escalated.
He's like
Like basically gasoline, kerosene, any type of accelerant got thrown on this fire. Anything you could think of as accelerant got thrown on the fire. It just got thrown on it. It's
now a
like
lot more has come out about that case. It was like yeah,
it didn't need to
the
go there.
situation that got out of hand is like yeah. It's like that's what it was. It got way out of hand. That situation.
I mean, a person who, if they did allegedly have a counterfeit check or a counterfeit, whatever the case was,
Over
it's like
20,
that,
counterfeit 20, he slipped to the clerk.
whatever that was, allegedly a
Bought
counterfeit 20.
cigarettes or whatever he bought, like for the clerk in there, and then of course the guy called the cop. Is like so yeah, and then what George Floyd had here's why everything what escalated it is he did take a bunch of fentanyl this like shit too, so he was like not in his right mind, and then he was a big guy too, so like the cops trying to like yeah restrain him is like what led to that. It's like yeah, a big guy that's just like being erratic is like so it got way out of hand. That shit is like
It got too much to be.
yeah. What I think happened, like just speculation on my part, is like when he saw the cop walking off, he like swallowed the fentanyl, and that's how they got in his system. So, and then they're just
Mhm.
like, yeah, yeah. And of course, you take that much fentanyl, it's like it's gonna fuck.
At once, yeah, it's going to
Yeah,
mess with you.
but it was a situation that got way out of hand. Like yeah, that it should have just been a simple situation. Like, hey, like you did you get this to this motherfucker? This
It's a
big.
count. Like, I mean, I worked retail for many years and I've seen counterfeit. I saw a lot of counterfeit bills in my day of working retail. I saw a lot because during that time it was a lot of counterfeit. I saw counterfeit bills, counterfeit checks. I saw some of everything. People stolen credit cards. I've seen some of some of everything working retail.
Mm.
But never at one point like I didn't, I didn't call cops. I mean, we had our in-store security. So I mean if it was a situation where I felt I'm gonna call the in-store security
You
and but
worked
go
at
ahead.
a big
I worked at a large chain though, so that is
just
different.
like a corner store that
If you worked at a bodega,
yeah.
I
corner,
don't know why I was going bodega because I mean that's a New York thing, but
corner store was
corner
Walmart.
store in Chicago, if you
Sticky
worked at a
corner,
corner store.
corner store. Yeah. Like
But yeah,
Mayhouse, like, shout out Mayhouse, the late Mayhouse, the dad, her late dad, yeah, like his store on 93rd, yeah, like,
corner store.
yeah,
But
a lot, man. What?
so that whole thing, and then that's when you saw people going to Best Buy getting tea. Like it got to be a real clown show. It was a real
Yeah,
because I remember seeing that on the news when they had the helicopter and the lady was like at Best Buy. You could see her trying to fit like a 50-inch, whatever. Like it was like a large. She was trying to fit like a big TV, like in her car. You could see her trying. You could see like on the news helicopter showing her trying to maneuver and fit this TV into her car.
yeah, I remember that video. Yeah, the most ridiculous thing
I
to
was
me,
like, oh
like in
my
hindsight
God.
now, was Walmart on 83rd. It's like, yeah, it's like they torched the place, rebuilt it like after about a year, opening back up, and just to close like right after that again. It's like they could have just left the shit closed after they burned the shit in 2020. It's like why go through all of that and shit? because it took like over a year for them to reopen that store. Remember? Yeah,
Yeah, because
like
it was like Halloween 21 when they opened it. It was
yeah,
around October, November when they opened it.
that was May of 2020 when they burnt the bitch. It's like
Yeah.
yeah,
I thought it was gone. And then when I saw it was reopening in October of 21, I was like,
and it
oh,
closed in like what 23 and shit. Like yes,
yeah. Abruptly.
yeah.
Just closed abruptly. Like, yeah, we're
After all of
closing.
after all of that shit, it's like well, why you could have just left the shit closed? It's like yeah. That was pretty silly to me and shit because like they literally torched that bitch. Yeah,
Yeah, just the torch in the buildings, period. Like they torched the Dollar Tree on 95th and Jeffrey. It's like,
our mom's Dollar Tree that's used to go to. Yeah, they
who
burned it.
torches a
The
Dollar
old
Tree?
East Side Wheels rink used to be there. They
Who
tore.
torches a Dollar Tree? Who does that?
It's like it's like the crazy motherfucker and do the right thing. It's like he's the one who burns down. They
Smiley.
were smiling. They were looting it like the crazy motherfucker burns the building. No, it's like
Well, the first thing people do is Louis, okay, like regular people, okay, break stuff in there. Then you know someone's gonna go for the cash register, of course.
it is when Sal had got most of the money out already. He had counted the rest, so but it was still like they leave a little bit
Few
in for
dollars in
the bank. The bank for like you leave a bank
for
for
the
like
next morning. Yeah, the bank for the morning. Yeah,
that's all that was in there. Sal had got most of it.
but you know, people they gonna hit that. They gonna try to hit the
Yeah,
cash
it was
register.
hit the cash register. Yeah,
But the idiots that were in Chase,
it started with Mookie throwing the trash can.
Mookie threw the trash can. Yeah,
That's what started the riot. So, yeah,
but then
yeah.
the idiots that were in Chase, I saw a video of Chase idiots.
Oh
You know,
yeah,
now
you saw that was my video. Yeah, because like I said, I got a video on. I went out that Sunday, after the stuff because like I saw because you go on your lives, you start seeing people reporting stuff. Are they over here on 87th and the Rhine? They over here on Roosevelt. Like there's different areas we're getting
different
hit.
areas begin. Yeah.
Curious about my area, like where we grew up at. So I went over to commercial over east. It's like, yeah. So I
Mhm.
was like, I wonder what's going on. So like me, like that's the journalist in me. I was curious. I said, I'm gonna take a drive over here and see what's going. Sure enough, when I saw like the chaos, I was like, oh yeah, they over here. Yeah. So then I just went my shit out, went live. I started with I had two people watching. It was you and Marcus. It's like and that ballooned to like yeah like 50
50,000.
some thousand. It's like yeah it ballooned. It's like, yeah
Mhm.
because I think Marcus was the first one that went on. Like I had one live and then I saw two like right after that. You went on right after that. Yeah, I think he
Mhm.
told you that I was on live and then
Yeah, he
y'all
was
saw
like, yeah,
what
he
I
was like,
was
your brother
doing.
online.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, I logged in. Like the whole time, I was like, I just started getting very uneasy about you being out there.
And my people did care. Like you where my thing Feast jumped in, Kareem, like all my siblings, like co-workers and former like classmates of mine, they were like, yeah, like dude, that don't look safe. You need to leave. Like everybody like was saying the same. But I
Shout out to
compared
the guy.
myself, I felt like the reporters out in the war zones, like when they be or the ones that
Yeah,
be
what?
out the
I just a
or
twin. Oh my God. Or like the people chasing the
hurricane, yeah,
storm chasers. Like
storm chasers,
they
yeah.
be out there, the wind be smacking them in the face.
Or like the 9/11 report, which is some crazy videos from 9/11. Is like when they stand like literally right under the tower, and they're like, you can see like when the building starts getting, they're like, oh, like, we got to get the hell out, and they just start running. It's like the building's falling down. We got to get the fuck out of here. Like it is videos. I feel like those reporters is like, yeah, yeah, that's what I felt. When the cops got out there is when I got nervous. I wasn't nervous till I saw the cop show, and then
Shout
they
out to
just
the guy.
then they just left. I was like,
But shout out to the guy with the samurai sword.
oh yeah, the samurai sword.
Yeah,
he
I'm not
was
getting looted.
he was ready and shit. And then I felt bad for the pawn shop owner because he like he had got his gate up, but you could see like somebody like yeah we gonna get your ass too. And then like sure enough I went past there yesterday and they had gotten in this store eventually. Like you could see him like he didn't want them to get his store. He had put his gate up and you saw the mob like talking shit to he looked like the Korean and do the right thing. Yeah, but they did loot his store. Like I came back the next day and saw that they and that pawn shop never opened up again. So like he lost his business basically. Yeah.
But the other guys, the ones that were on Jeffrey across the street from the mosque that had the
Yeah.
AK.
Why everybody should exercise their Second Amendment right? I say
That
because
had the AK-47. The guy
situations
was
like
down.
that, you see the police aren't your friend. They weren't. They came.
And it was
They
one.
came and looked around and then they
They were
left.
looking
I'm
around
like,
and just left. It was one guy on the roof and one guy on the ground, and they each had assault rifles.
yeah, they were
Needless
pretty.
to say, their store didn't get looted.
exactly. Yeah, they didn't touch them. It's like, and I guess
I
out
knew
of
someone.
respect, right down from they didn't touch the Nation store either. They
Oh
didn't
no, you don't
they,
want that
they didn't they
smoke.
didn't touch they didn't touch Harold's because it's Harold's. Like ain't nobody gonna mess
It's
with that.
heroes here.
And then like the Nation, the foodie spot, like the Nation store, they
No,
get
they wasn't touching the nation. Yeah,
like maybe the FOIs were there. I don't know, but they didn't loot the Nation store right
they
there.
don't want the smoke of the. I'll just say like that. You don't want the smoke of the nation. You don't want the smoke of that. You don't want that
I didn't
smoke.
I didn't go that way, but maybe the FOIs were out there that day. I don't know. It's like
I'm sure they were. You ain't messing with the brothers.
the foodie spot didn't get touched. I know
You
that
ain't
much.
messing with the brothers. And then I know somebody who had a business and they had two pit bulls with them, so they didn't get touched. They were outside with their two large pit bulls.
A couple of people I know personally whose businesses they lost to was George Daniels. He lost his business,
Yeah, that was a damn shame.
and then Chella, like she lost her bitch. So like yeah, and they were talking about how like yeah, like y'all don't own business, y'all don't know how it works, and talking about you got insurance and all of that. Like they both gave their
Idiot.
stories. Like y'all shut the fuck. If you don't own a business, shut the fuck up,
I'm
bitch.
not arguing with somebody who's looking for their $600 stimmy, and you talk about you have insurance. It'd be the people who do that, like you got insurance.
But I saw Chella like go into like she went on a whole rant about that.
You
And
don't
she
have
kind
two
of like
niggas,
gave, and she kind of gave us the speech like how Sal gave too. Even if you do got it, she was like parts of this I built this business like with my hands. Parts of it, like, I put in like
right?
like yeah, like the sweat equity that means
Blood, sweat, and tears.
like I put those so and so's in. I put that says like yeah, like when it's just gone now, like you gonna feel some type of way about that shit. It's like yeah,
Mhm.
like I literally like helped build this store like with my own hands. It's like yeah, so for you to
People
just say
don't get it. People don't get it. So that was like extreme ugly part of 2020, because then it got really where people started making, like you said, it got politicized. A lot of things got politicized,
election year, yeah, so that got
and
put
then
in.
you really saw people's true intentions, because it was like several people that I don't fuck with no more because of 2020. Because I mean, I saw your true character of like who you were and how empathy goes a long way. You can
Yeah,
feel for somebody even though you're not in their situation. You can be empathetic to a situation. You can,
yeah,
but I saw that a lot of people lacked empathy who claim that they did have empathy, and I'm like, okay,
right.
I don't want to associate myself with you no more.
I
So I'm
saw
not.
that when I was on my live out there. It's like most of the comments were like, yeah, logical people. But like a lot of the comments were like y'all like get the fuck out of there. It's like that's what a
Yeah,
lot of them were. It's like, and then
yeah.
other people was like, man, it's so sad. It's like yeah, like and like what tearing up our own community. It's like you saw a lot of that too. Like yeah,
And then once my initial shock wore up about you and your safety, then my thought went there. I'm like, damn. I'm like, we used to do so and so there,
yeah, because
man.
it was our
We used to
neighborhood. It
do
was like
so.
yeah, we used to play
Damn.
V. We used to get our slushies from there. It's
We
like
used to
yeah,
do this here. We used to go here. We used to do.
because they hit the commercial plaza. And like that was like our spot. It's like right
That was
there.
our spot.
I remember when you bought a beeper there before back. We were old school beeper and shit.
You know where I bought? I had my Mickey Mouse ring. Remember the Mickey Mouse rings? That was.
Yeah,
I
commercial plaza right there.
bought my Mickey Mouse gold ring from there.
92nd and commercial right there. Yeah, it's the
Now
commercial.
I'm going old school because that was the end thing when you wore your little jewelry, your little rings. You had your little Mickey Mouse rings or whatever. But yeah,
And then
so
you saw some
really,
idiots in there like, yeah, good, yeah, get all that shit. Yeah, it's like yeah, it's like you saw some of that in the because I would see the comments they were like zooming by like real quick because there was so many people. But I would see like yeah, that's right, get all that shit. It's like
and I feel really bad for like I said, especially for like the small business owners, because it's
like
like
I
they
said, the
don't have
little pawn shop owner, like you see him,
right.
like he just he sold it. If he had had like a gun, like those guys on Stony, like they wouldn't have got him up. But you can see he was behind his gate. He had got his gate closed in time, but you could see them standing like shouting at him. And I said, so I was like, "Be safe out here, brother." It's like, yeah, that's all I said. Yeah,
Mhm.
when I woke, yeah,
Because especially a lot of these businesses, these small businesses, especially and I said a little bit of soapbox time, especially looking at like ones that are people who came from other countries. It's like a lot of them are all their money that they're making, they're sending back home for like family, because like they may just be here by themselves in America,
They came
and
here
they're
and
still
then
taking care
like
of family
family is still back where they came from.
back home.
Yeah.
So now it's like you take away their business, they can't provide for their family back home. You may say, well, that's not, but think about somebody took your business and you can't provide for your family. Think about it like that. Put yourself in someone else's
Gotta
shoes,
have
right?
empathy, basically.
Like when people are like, well, that's there. It's like, okay. That's why when people start talking, I just exit. I'm like, okay, you know what? Like y'all said, you're a shithead, so I'm just going to exit stage left. I'm just going to exit right now because I'm not going to even give my energy to argue back and forth with somebody who just lacks empathy like that. I'm just not. But
That was a wild last time.
that was the wild time
What
that
a time to be alive, 2020.
that we can sadly say that we lived through. Like I said, I don't know how much of it Ariana. Like I said, Ariana obviously like, she knows. Like she was 5, so I mean, so she has some knowledge
Know
of what.
some things. Khalil, no memory,
Khalil not at all. He was 2, so I mean, I'm
no
sure he
memories
doesn't
at all
remember.
of any of that. Yeah, like
He
she
just remembers wearing masks and that sucks. That's like what his memory
that's her
is.
memory of
That's like
like
his
having to put
memory.
a mask
His
on.
mask and it sucks. That's all he remembers, I'm sure, of 2020. But
A lot of our memories that we had to wear masks and it sucked.
so that was just my memory lane thing I had to delve into because I'm like, okay, this literally was like the start of the whole pandemonium, pandemic,
Yeah,
what's going to happen? That was the whole thing that literally was 4 years ago, like today, like where it was just like so much of, oh my God, what are we going to do? This and that. So,
yeah.
but we survived it.
Okay, well let's get it. Let's go into a couple of other things. Yeah, but what
Mhm.
a time to be alive, 2020. Yeah. A couple of RIPs I gotta put out there. Rest in peace. To listen, Mrs. Watson. Let's start there. Look, personally.
Yes. Mhm.
The homies, yeah, mom, yeah, she was like a mom to us, like Mrs. Watson, yeah.
Oh yeah. We spent many time doing the side yard wrestling
With Philip, yeah.
at her house that she allowed us to do wrestling in her side yard. She allowed us.
My memories of her is how religious she was. Like when she answered the phone, she didn't say hello. She said, "Praise the Lord." I remember that. That's
Yeah, she would. Yes,
all she
yes,
would.
yes.
Praise the
Praise
Lord.
the
Yeah,
Lord.
that's all she would. When I called Philip, she'd be like, "Yeah, praise the Lord."
Praise the Lord.
Yeah, but so Mrs. Watson, and yeah, her husband, Mr. Watson. He John Watson is known. He was an actor like in his later years, and appeared in Barbershop. Uncle Pete was like, yeah, his character in that, and like
Soul food. Soul food.
both at Barbershop. I mean, Soul Food. He appeared Uncle Pete in Soul Food.
It
Yeah,
seemed like he should have been in barbershop.
yeah.
It
I'm
was like a lot
surprised.
of Chicago. I'm surprised he
He's one of
wasn't
the
in
old
there.
men in the barbers hanging
One of
out
the old men in the
with
barbershop.
Norm
It seemed
Van
like he
Leer.
should
It
have been
seems like he should have been in that
with
scene.
Carl. What was his name? The one who was a pervert preacher
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that dude is like,
I
yeah.
don't know his last. I know his first name was Carl because he was
And
like
then and I know and Norm Van Leer was in that
and
scene.
Norman Van Leer and them.
Like
Mhm.
yeah, like Watson should have been in that. Yeah, Soul Food. He was Uncle Pete in Soul Food. The one
Mhm.
with the big mama had the money in his TV.
Yeah, the
That was
crazy.
she was his wife. Mrs. Watson was his wife.
Mhm. Yeah, he was
He
also in The Fugitive. He was in
fugitive.
Opportunity Knocks. That's the name of that movie. I couldn't think of the name of it. Opportunity Knocks. He was in that.
He had a lot of Chicago movies shot in Chicago. He was in basically
Mhm.
a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so his wife just passed away. So, like I said, that's our our neighbors around the corner, like our people that we grew up. So,
Probably y'all might know David Watson. He did like Bulls post game for a while. Like if you the
hmm.
son is like yeah he was part of the yeah like if you like if you know it was the show after the show. It wasn't the one.
Yeah, like the one with Jason Goff and Kendall Gill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't that. It's the one after that show, like the late night show, like
Oh, the late that.
the
Okay,
one that
okay,
came
yeah.
after that one is like David was on there, like he was a
Yeah.
contributor to that show. So like that's where you, so like yeah, so they pretty prominent family. The Watsons is like yeah, pretty prominent family. So you might know like Mr. Watson, like yeah, the husband or the son. You might know him. He appeared on
Yeah.
on NBC Sports and that, yeah, after the after show with
He
the
sure
Bulls.
did. Cause like I remember when I made the connection, I was like, wait a minute, that's David? I was like, oh my God. You know, it's kind
He
of
hit me
like
up and told me because I wasn't even because I didn't have it on. He was like, he's like, yeah. So are you watching them? Kind of. So David is on TV. It's like, and I just turned it off. I was like, hell no. It's like Feast is the one who told me. It's like, hey, are you watching? Like David is on now.
because I didn't make the
Yeah.
connection. And then when I saw it, and then I realized, and then when I saw him, and then I saw the
Because
name,
I
I'm
didn't
like,
even
oh
watch
my
that
God.
show. It's like because I would just watch the one with Jason Goff and Kendall Gill. I didn't watch the other show. And then Feast called me and said David. And that's when I turned it on. I was like, hell no, that is David. Yeah, I was like Bart, but like, yeah, what's David doing on the show?
It does make you go like, oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah. So like Feast is the one who like alerted me to him being on that show.
Mm-hmm.
So rest in peace, Mrs. Watson. And then for like my 90s hip hop fans, I gotta say rest in peace going out to Boss. I don't know if you remember Boss. She was like from the
Uh,
early 90s, like female gangster rap. She was like
vaguely.
she came but like Boss basically came before Rage and Brad and like she was like hardcore before them. It's like
Okay.
yeah, like she was like the deeper and deeper. I don't know if you remember that song. Yeah, that was like
Vaguely, I remember the name now.
he was out in
Vaguely.
the early 90s, like Boss.
Mm-hmm.
She just died at the age of 54, like very young.
Oh,
We lost Boss, like yeah, because I saw people on my timeline say, "You remember Boss like from the 90s?" Yeah, she just died. Like oh, then I looked it up. I was like, yeah, so rest in peace, Boss. She was from Detroit. I'm looking at her bio now.
D.
We got family there.
Mhm.
Yeah, deeper. I remember, yeah, that's because like she was like early 90s, so like then after that you started like the Rage came out the very next year, like maybe like with Afro Puffs. It's like it was a
Yeah.
similar type of energy, like that's what Boss
Mhm.
was, that type of energy, like that
Okay.
hardcore, like
The hard the lady
you
rap,
know,
the hard lady rapper, yeah. Aw.
rest in peace, Boss. We lost her. So I just had to report those real quick. We talked Comcast or NBC Sports Net, and let's talk a little sports right now.
Yeah.
NFL, Chicago Bears style.
Uh,
Chicago Bears have officially
yeah.
traded Justin Fields. They
For
traded
some
him
now
for
lettuce and
that's what
sunflower
people are
seeds
saying. It's like
and a sour hot pickle with a peppermint stick in the middle.
and a snowball.
You know what you if you're from Chicago, you know exactly what all that meant.
A snowball with the red syrup. There we go.
The red and green syrup. Red and green. That was mine. I would get cherry and apple.
They traded him for a conditional 2025 sixth round pick. So so the Justin traded to Pittsburgh Steelers, by the way. So yeah.
Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow.
So there it is. The Justin Fields era has officially come to an end. Bears have the number one pick. People are saying they're gonna take Caleb Williams with that, and he's I guess they going all in on him. It's like so so they didn't want to have
So
him and Fields battling each other, so they just gonna go all in on
so this Justin Fields jersey that Marcus bought. Because every year he does
gonna end up on the pile with the Jay Cutler jersey.
because he has Jay Cutler jerseys,
And the
he has a
Khalil Mack
Khalil Mack.
jersey, and they all like got traded. Well, Cutler just got cut, but yeah, like they all got traded.
We know why he got Khalil. We know why he got the Khalil jersey.
Yeah, there it is.
But every year that's Marcus's thing. Like every year, the start of whoever the Bears, he's going to go and get him a jersey. He's
We're
going to go to
probably
either
get Caleb.
Dick's or wherever
Probably
and
gonna
get
have.
him a jersey.
Probably gonna rock the Caleb Williams, like because
So I'm gonna have to see him in another Bears jersey.
that's who they're going to.
Lord. So I'm gonna ask, what are you gonna do with this Justin Fields? Because he has an orange Justin Fields jersey. I'm gonna ask, what are you gonna do with this jersey now? You say he's going to end up with the Cutler pile.
There it is.
He had who else did he have? He had Alshon Jeffrey. I think he had like a lot of Bears because he
Wow,
buys all the Bears
back
jerseys.
with Alshon Jeffrey.
I think he has an Alshon Jeffrey. I think he does. Because he has a lot of like when I look at all the jerseys that he's bought
That's
over
his
the years,
tradition.
I'm
He'll
like,
buy a
oh,
Bears jersey. That's his
he
tradition.
does it every year. So He's going to get that whoever they pick this year, I guess. I don't know. He get their
Bears
jersey, I
got
guess.
the number one pick, and Caleb Williams looks like he's gonna be the guy. Like that's the consensus number one. Some people aren't sold on him yet, but if Fields is gone, so I'm willing to give him a chance. Just say go all in on him. You got to go all in on Mr. Williams.
That Fields looked like he could have been Velma and Keith's son from Good Times. So I think they should have went more with him and gave him more of a chance.
Yeah.
Because when someone made that connection, I couldn't unsee it. They said he looks like Keith from Good Times, and I couldn't unsee it. After that, I was
I
like,
said that's like canon, and because at the end of Good Times, Thelma was pregnant. She's pregnant with with Justin Fields. That's official canon and shit to me. We'll see how Fields does in Pittsburgh too. I'm waiting to see because a lot of times when people leave Chicago, then they show out and shit.
I'm gonna make you pay. I'm gonna make you pay.
So I'm actually rooting for him. I'm hoping that he yeah does. Well, the Bears did something. I said that they hadn't done anything in free agency. Now they didn't definitely done something.
I definitely did
They were kind of
something.
sitting on their hands, but like not no more. It's like they made a major
Russell
move.
Wilson went to Pittsburgh too, so he's there now too. So
So who's the backup then? Wilson or Fields? It's like I don't know. Yeah. I probably Fields is younger. I probably will start him.
Fields is younger. And he
But
could learn to Russell because Russell is a champion. Russell did win a ring. So I mean, he's
that's
older now, but I mean he did wear a ring though. So, you know, you
gonna be
can always learn to somebody who has experience, who has championship experience. You can always learn to them. You can. So
Russell came up and shit.
he did. Oh, Russell. Yeah, when I saw what happened with Russell, I said, Russell got the bag to
Like millions is like that the Broncos is eight and shit like 50 million something like that. It's like
walk away. Like he got like damn near 40 million to walk away or something like that.
that and shit, yeah. And he still was able to sign with somebody
And he
else.
still sounded somewhere else.
Yeah, he got his money and shit, yeah. So the people say and people were feeling bad for him like he got his money.
His money.
You got nothing to feel bad about. Like, dude got his money.
He got his money. And in personal
And
life,
he still was able to sign with another
and
team.
personal life seems to be pretty good too, still for him. So, he's he's fine. Like he's doing okay. Like you don't have to feel bad for Russell Wilson. He's doing good. Don't feel bad for him.
But a lot of our Bears fans in the timeline are definitely
Oh, they were lit. They were heated. They were heated. I saw them. They were
mine's been
upset.
split. It's like some people are like I guess they going all in on Caleb Williams. Some people are like, well, fuck the Bears. Like, yeah, why you
I
they,
saw a lot of Fuck the Bears in my timeline.
yeah.
Saw a lot of Fuck the Bears.
Yeah.
I saw I feel
Because
like
of
you know
what
I
you paid.
still
Especially because you traded him, like you said, you didn't get much for him. That's what it.
yeah, you got like I said, you got what we said you got. Some flaming hots.
A conditional sixth round pick is like,
Because that's really like
yeah,
that's like the cheapest thing assuming you can get for somebody,
yeah.
right? See, that's
Not like
pretty
a first or second round, like a sixth round. That's
a
like,
sixth round.
yeah, come on. It feels. I know he wasn't perfect, but I think you could have got more than that for him.
Yeah, that's kind of like you definitely
You sold low and
caved.
shit
You
with that.
definitely surrendered,
Like,
basically.
y'all sold low and shit on that one. Yeah,
Yikes.
you aimed low like Gwen instead of aiming high. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. But did March Madness start yet? It's
Was
about to start.
starting up. Yeah, so people are getting their brackets ready. Yeah, because
Cause I'm like, I always wonder, like, should I just, cause I mean, I don't really follow the college, but I mean, just for, cause I know they do the $1 billion bracket every year. So I was just going to just plug in stuff and just see like what happens.
well, for
It's kind
nobody's collected yet. How long they've been doing that?
that's $1 billion bracket.
Yeah.
But rest assured, if I did win $1 billion bracket, I'd be
One,
like
you
that
would,
meme.
if I won, you wouldn't know.
I'd be like that meme, the guy, he throws a peace sign and disappears.
Yeah.
Like I would just disappear. All social media gone. Everything is gone. Oh, I'm saying too much now. So you just see me disappear randomly.
I saw Saquon Barkley of the Giants. Well, no longer the Giants. He signed with the Eagles. It's like so Giants fans are feeling some type of way about that because that's division rival and shit. Yeah, so yeah,
Mm.
you could have signed with anywhere. Why you signed with the Eagles? God damn it. Yeah. So yeah,
Oh, what you call it? What's his name? Simone Biles' husband. He's with the Bears now. So
I did see that. Yeah,
about that, they was like, "Yeah, welcome to Chicago." I was like, "Wait, what the hell?" He just came from like he left the Packers to come to the Bears. Like that's kind of okay.
I did see that.
I can't think of the man's name. I'm sorry to call you Simone Biles' husband. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I can't think of his name, but I blanked. I really did blank on his
Not
name.
for his name either.
Now I saw the lady that wait a minute, Judge Judy husband. What she called Jerry Judge Judy's husband. Well, he kind of was Judge Judy's husband, so I mean,
You gonna insult that man? Jonathan Owens. Yeah, I couldn't think of
Jonathan Owens. There you go. I can't think of his name. I'm like, I blanked out. I'm sorry. Jonathan Owens signed with the Bears, so
safety real with the Bears now. Yeah, I was like, what's that dude's name? I couldn't think of it.
I couldn't think of his name. Sorry.
Focus on Justin Fields and all of that, and
We'll get some
Williams.
well, welcome to Chicago. And then, if you need some food spots, Simone, we'll hook you up and let you know where the food spots are. That's the first thing we want to do in Chicago. We want to feed people good. We want to we want to show them where to eat, where you can eat some good food at.
Mm.
Mm, 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 mm.
Got news right here for all my fans of the Power Verse. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Power Book 2 Ghost going into its final season. Yeah. The final season kicks off in June. So yeah. This is if you're a fan of Tariq St. Patrick, this is the final year. It's like I've gotten into the Power Book too, yeah. I like the Tejada family, like that's Mary J. Blige and them is like they got the Method
I
Man
am.
as the seedy ass fucking attorney and shit. It's like
CDS attorney.
Councilman Tate, seedy ass is like it's some good characters. It's some pretty hilarious characters on that show. So yeah, so
This Councilman
I'm
Tate
kind
was
of sad to
petty.
see it go. I'm kind of
You said what?
I'm kind of sad to see it go.
Aw.
Yeah,
Well, maybe I guess I might. Well, when it goes off, I might get back my stars and I might just binge watch the
yeah, the
whole
whole
series.
series because it's only 4 seasons because it's the fourth season, the fourth and final season, and it makes sense. Like their story is it's been told. It's like yeah, I don't see yeah because it basically started with the original Power, and then it segued into Power Book 2. So like it's like I don't know how much mileage you can get out of that story and shit. So it makes sense to like wrap it here.
Basically, he's like the new ghost, basically.
Yeah, it shows him
Tariq has
like
become ghost,
navigating,
basically.
like yeah, navigating through the crime circle, and like him, like he's like unlike his father, like he's trying to balance like being a college student with being a drug dealer, and all. So he's trying to balance those two. It's like yeah, so yeah, Power Book 2 is wrapping. So new season June 7th it starts. So yeah.
Okay.
You still got Raising Canaan and Force like still around, so it's still. And I think what I've saw like which would be interesting too. They probably gonna spin off from Raising Canaan. I think
Hmm.
it's gonna be a prequel showing like a Ghost and Tommy like how they like rose from like nah. I would like to see that. It's like
Okay.
so like probably at some point during Raising Canaan, you're going to see like young Ghost and Tommy. They're going to introduce them and like
Yeah.
spin off into because I did see that they're planning to spin off a prequel to like show how Ghost became
I'll
Ghost.
go from
Yeah,
Tommy.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're going to do a prequel of that. I'm like that should be fun because I like Raising Canaan, showing how
Hmm.
Canaan became the Canaan we know from Power. It's like starting as a youngster to like becoming that. He's starting to
And the,
become that Canaan now. Yeah, he's
and the
starting.
actor looks a lot like him too.
And the casting was great. He looked just
Yeah,
like
they did really good with the casting with that one.
even the way he talks too, you could tell he studied 50 Cent because he even talked like 50 like that. Like he
50, because 50 does have a unique
cadence.
impediments. Yeah, impediment because he was shot. So I mean, it did affect the way his speech. So he
So
does talk through like clenched teeth, kind of like 50 sounds like he's
the
talking through
actor
clenched
talks
teeth.
like that too. Like you can tell he studied a lot of 50 Cent film, like cause he talked just like him on the show.
But you do gotta have the mannerism. Like aside from looking from like somebody, you have to have their mannerism, their diction, their,
Which is
you know,
why All
their
Eyes on Me
swag.
worked. The guy looked like Tupac, but he didn't feel anything like Tupac. Like he was a bad actor. Like he
He was a bad actor.
just all he had was he looked like him. That's the only thing they got right.
Mm-hmm. The whatchamacallit was better. The Notorious movie was better. The Biggie guy was better because he was a better actor and he actually because he put the thing in too to like have like because Biggie had the lisp, so he had a thing in his mouth to make him have the Biggie lisp. Well, he had like that when he talked. But yeah, that All Eyes on Me was terrible. It was.
Hashtag not good.
Wasn't a good movie.
You ready to wrap or you got anything else?
Yes, we can wrap it on
The wrap
up.
there. It's like other stuff, but we'll come back to that. Definitely appreciate you supporting Not Another Damn Podcast. You want to support us further, you know what to do. Give us a like. Also, subscribe, share, rate, review on all your platforms, talking Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, SoundCloud, iHeart, TLC Talk Radio. What up, Tosh?
Hey.
YouTube, and your Amazon Alexa devices. You can follow me at Ozman the Wizard on Instagram, TikTok, and X, Oz Radio on Snapchat and Facebook as well. That's how I get down.
And you can check me out, MSIMA8626 on Instagram, X, and TikTok. Also, STR8GULAY1 on X, STRAGULAY7 on Instagram. Also, please like the Straight Gully Facebook fan page. Check out straightgully.com for your blogs and your vlogs.
Okay. And I'm Ozman the Wizard.
And Naima.
We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
I'm gone.